We have some breaking news now, and the notorious Gaza Humanitarian Foundation says at least 20 Palestinians were killed Wednesday morning at its food distribution site in Khan Younis. The Israeli and U.S.-backed company called it a tragic incident. The United Nations has called the GHF food sites death traps and condemned their operations. More than 875 people have been killed by Israeli forces and U.S. contractors at the GHF site since it began operating in May. Hani, Mahmoud, you're joining us from Gaza City. So this really signals the impossible choice that Palestinians face, right? Either go to these GHF sites, which are described as death traps, as we can see, one more incident of forces killing Palestinians, or then starve to death.
And Darina, tragically, there are no other choices left for the hungry, displaced Palestinians, whether they are here in the north in Gaza or the southern part of the Strip, including the central area. They all have to go to these centers in order to pick up one food parcels or whatever is available for the basic necessities and take them back to their families, and their children are hungry inside displacement sites. But if Palestinians are not dying because of the ongoing airstrikes or the deliberate ongoing shooting by the Israeli military that fires indiscriminately at the hungry crowd, they're dying from something else. It's the enforced starvation and dehydration. People are forced into these unbearable conditions. Let's not forget, before standing joining these crowds, people are already displaced multiple times. They're hungry, they're thirsty, they haven't been eating well, they are low on carbs, protein, and vitamins. So it takes really a dangerous and a very hard trip to go and stand in a large crowd where tens of thousands of Palestinians are waiting for food supplies. So the incident that we're talking about involved a large crowd gathered at a point that was shut down in the past a few days without any food distribution whatsoever, where thousands of people were left without any proper access to any of the food supplies. And the lack of clarity in communication, in the guidelines, the clear guidelines for where people to go and how to get to these areas, also part of the larger problem that have been caused and exacerbated by the notorious Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. The report initially, or so far what we know from the incident, that close to 20 people died as of the stampede and the overcrowdedness that occurred at the sites. And let's just not forget the way the GHF site has been engineered and structured. It's not sufficient. It's not designed in a way that help the hungry, displaced population. We're talking about fenced lanes where thousands of people had to be funneled through in order to get to the areas where the food parcels are available. When you have a large crowd that haven't had any proper access to food for so long, it's only natural to see this large crowd turning up at these centers, to see this stampede happening, to see the overcrowdedness, because hunger and desperation is forcing people into this chaos, and chaos, of course, leading to much of the violence that we're seeing. Majority of it happening by the ongoing deliberate attacks by the Israeli military that is stationed around these areas, as well as the GHF employees who've been documented shooting at hungry Palestinians. So once again, we're seeing the GHF is making headlines now, not because it's effective in delivering much needed aid to a hungry population, but because now more than 800 Palestinians have been killed inside these or around these centers as the distribution taking place in the most arbitrary way possible.
So, Hani, while all of this is going on, of course, there are still forced displacement orders as well that are being implemented, and strikes elsewhere across the Gaza Strip.
Of course, this has been the most dominating element of this genocide, the constant, ongoing, non-stop displacement of people. We ran to people who have been displaced close to 10, 15 times since the beginning of the genocide. We ran to people who have been into shelters that have been bombed more than 5 or 7 times, moving it from one place to another. We have people who have toured the entire Gaza Strip, given the ongoing displacement. They went from further northern part all the way to the city of Khan Younis, going through Gaza City, the central area, and Khan Younis, and now they are forced into other displacement. When it comes to the airstrikes, every aftermath, after every airstrikes, we have a new displacement orders. Even if there are no if there are no orders issued by the Israeli military, the aftermath of the airstrikes are leaving thousands of Palestinians scrambling for shelters, looking for an area where they can stay protected and safe, from one house to another, from one tent to another, from one displacement to another. That's unfortunately the daily routine and daily struggle of Palestinians, and also lack of basic necessities is pushing people also to find other shelters.
Hani Mahmoud reporting from Gaza City. Hani, thank you so much.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.